to another episode of the Punk Rock NFL Draft. My name is Dirty D from the Dirty T. This is part 2 of our top 100 rankings for the NFL Draft. We're doing 51 through 100 today. I'm going to try to roll through these as quick as possible because we do have a lot of names, but I'm going to just try to highlight some players that I really want to highlight. We're going to go in droves of 10, essentially, until we get all the way there. You will see on the first two slides the 20 names at a time, but I'm going to go over them in groups of 10. At 51, I got Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of Texas. At 52, I've got Chris Johnson Jr., the quarterback out of San Diego State. 53, Keldrick Falk, the edge out of Auburn. 54, Lee Hunter, defensive tackle, Texas Tech. 55, C.J. Allen, linebacker, Georgia. 56, Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee. 57, Joshua Josephs, the edge out of Tennessee. 58, we got Skylar Bell, the wide receiver out of UConn. 59, Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pitt. And 60, Grayson Halton, the interior defensive lineman, pass rushing dynamo from the interior out of Oklahoma. This is kind of that, if you see that 53 to 55 range is where I value the type of players that I think are going to be two-down players year one. Other than I did in the other episode, I had Caden McDonald at 39. I think Caden McDonald's a little quicker and could develop a little more as a pass rusher than Lee Hunter, but he is the best run defender in the entire class. So because of that, you get pushed up a little bit because of how good he is at making sure you get to third and long. He's that good of a run defender. Lee Hunter is good, but he's not that good. And then, like, Keldrick Falk is good, but he's more of an edge setter. These three guys, Falk, Hunter, Allen, they're going to be good run defenders, but they're two-down players. I don't think I'm ever going to at least I can't trust that I'm going to develop Falk into a pass rusher. And if I do, it takes 3 years. I value that kind of like mid to late second more than early second. And then Lee Hunter, I don't think he's ever going to be more than a two-down player, but the ability to clog up the middle, get you to third and long is important. And then C.J. Allen is an excellent, tough, hard-nosed linebacker for sure against the run. I just don't think he offers you much in coverage, and I don't know if he's ever going to have the feel for coverage or definitely like the length and the ability to really execute. I think he's fast in the straight line. I don't think he's good at changing direction. I think he looks slower on tape than he did like when he finally ran his 40 because I think he struggles like with the quick redirection movements. Because of that, he looks like he moves a little slower to me. Colton Hood making it to 56 is because I don't think he tested as well as I wanted him to. B, smaller than I wanted him to be. C, didn't defend the run well, but he was so good in man coverage and offers you some zone coverage ability as well and made plays on the ball that he still made my top 60. Joshua Josephs made my top 60 because the length, the ability to flatten the arc. I didn't quite see him do it enough like with a true bend, but I saw him even being upright, able to go and then and cut across. Having a 34% pass rush win rate on like two true pass snaps, sets is crazy. 21% win rate, crazy. I think you can develop him into a really good designated pass rusher in the NFL. We're going to get to 61 through 70. At 61, I got Avion Terrell, cornerback, nickelback really, out of Clemson. Darrell Jackson Jr., interior defensive lineman, Florida State. Kieron Crawford, the other Auburn edge. At 63, Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. Quarterback 2 is at 64. Jayshon Barham, edge, Michigan, at 65. Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle, maybe a guard in the NFL, at a Northwestern at 66. Davison Igbinosun, the cornerback at Ohio State at 67. Denny Dennis Sutton, edge, Penn State at 68. Jonah Coleman, Running back Washington 69, and Bud Clark, safety TCU, is my 70th ranked player. Terrell, you love the competitive toughness, but 5'10", 180, 464 just doesn't translate to the outside. You're probably even concerned about that on the inside, but the toughness and the instincts and the technique is good enough to still take them end of round 2, early round 3 for me. Quarterback class is so weak that the second ranked quarterback is a fringe second round, early third round player. Just I like there's translatable NFL. You see him do NFL stuff, but I just don't see the ceiling to do it at a good level. And then I haven't really talked about Dennis Sutton much yet, so I want to give him a quick shout out just because I do think he can become a really solid number 2 edge. He's got a good power profile. He's got good straight line athleticism. He can play the run well. I just want it to be more consistent. And he tries a lot of pass rushing moves, but he's not successful with them. If he can put together a successful pass rushing bag, he can be a really solid edge 2. But at the moment, I think he's more in that edge 3, edge 4 conversation that, can be part of your rotation day 1 for sure. But you don't really want to, you're not going to start him. Moving on to 71 through 80. I got Elijah Surratt, the receiver out of Indiana, at 71. Logan Jones, center, Iowa, 72. Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame, 73. Dejuan Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss, 74. Emmett Johnson, running back, Nebraska, 75. Zachy Wheatley, safety, Penn State, 76. Devon Marshall, the cornerback of NC State, at 77. Caleb Alarms Orr, linebacker, TCU, 78. Sam Hecht, 79. Josiah Trotter at 80. Finally get a couple centers on the board with Jones and Hecht. I think Jones is just, he has the athleticism and the mature, reliable, he's just so good, reliable as a player. Plus he's athletic. That's going to play in the NFL. He's going to be a very good starting center. We got, what is that, 4 running backs in the top 75 by the hair of our chinny chin chin. I know that's more than most people have, but I do think that all 4 of those guys, when we're obviously Jeremiah Love, but I think that Jonah Coleman can be a starting running back in the NFL. He has 3-down ability. I think that Jadarian Price can be a 1A or 1B in the NFL. All these 3 guys you probably want in a committee for sure, but I think they can be a big part of a committee. Emmett Johnson, I love his ability to make people miss in the open field, his ability to just force missed tackles. That's a really important part of being a running back to me. So all of those guys to me could be running back 1s. I value that in this draft, especially in the top 75, because they're starters, they're contributors, right? That's what you want to draft in the first 2 days of the draft. You want to draft contributors. You want to draft guys that contribute right away and can be a big part of making your team go, right? Dejuan Stribling made my top 75 at 74. Man, I love the player. I think not only can he provide the dirty work, but he's super explosive. And then Devon Marshall makes my top 80. Another guy I've talked a lot about, I'm going to keep talking about because how good he is in zone. 16 passes defended this year, tied for 2 in the class. I'm going to keep screaming it from the fucking rooftops. And he's a really good tackler. And then Caleb Alarms Orr, I like him more in coverage than a lot of the other linebackers that are after the top 5 or 6 guys or whatever. I'm trying to remember. I think Alarms Orr was 7 for me. Yes, after the top 6 guys, I think he's, even some of those guys, I think he's a better coverage guy. I do wish he saw it faster. I also think he's a really excellent blitzer. So he plays as a 3-down linebacker. You want to see him read and react faster, but he has the athleticism that plays He's a pretty good tackler. He's around the ball a lot. And again, he can offer you 3-down ability. And then Josiah Trotter, dad was an Eagles fan growing up. They're my second favorite team. And loved his dad growing up. Trotter plays super physical. He's really good against the run. Probably the second or third best running back against the run in the entire class. He just isn't a very good cover guy. But, we'll see. I think he's more athletic and like downhill as opposed to like in space. But we'll see. Going 81 to 90, we got Dante Corleone, the Godfather, out of Cincinnati, interior defensive lineman at 81. Brandon Cisse, cornerback, South Carolina at 82. Rayshawn Benny, the interior defensive line out of Michigan at 83. Romello Height, edge, Texas Tech, 84. Jalen Kilgore, safety, South Carolina, 85. Bryce Bocher, linebacker, Oregon, 86. R. Mason Thomas, edge out of Oklahoma at 87. Malik Benson, wide receiver, Oregon, 88. Chris McCullen, interior defensive lineman, 89. And Antonio Williams Jr., the wide receiver out of Clemson, at 90. I've made my feelings on Cisse pretty well known. I do like his physicality, though. And I think you can eventually develop him into a cornerback 2, cornerback 3, but I just don't think he's ready as a cover guy to do that. But I like the physicality. So he still makes my top 85. And then Romello Height, you got to be concerned about the edge or the length. You got to be concerned about the weight. You got to be concerned about like that type of only 1 year of production. But wow, he was just so not only explosive, but so much bend. So much in his tool bag as a pass rusher this year that I still like him in my top 85. R. Mason Thomas didn't make it for me because he was billed like, again, lack of length. He was lighter than expected. I think he was listed at Oklahoma at like 253. He came in at 240, so light. Think about the same weight, if not even lighter than Romello Height, and people worry about him. And then I thought he won with speed. He was a speed rusher, how explosive, how fast he is. That was the calling card. And then like he was I would say a good, maybe above average athlete, but he was like his 10-yard split and his 40 didn't showcase the type of explosiveness that was his calling card, and it wasn't elite. Like, I needed it to be very good for me to. At one point, I did have him in my top 40, but then he tested, and I'm like, hey, this is what your game's predicated on, and it's not a special number, then I'm going to have you lower. I still think he can be a good designated pass rusher. I just don't think he's going to be as good of a designated pass rusher as everyone else thinks he is. Malik Benson is my number 11 wide receiver, by the way. I should have that eval done and posted sometime before day 2. He probably doesn't go till day 3, but I think he is going to make a roster. He has special teams ability. He reminds me a lot of Rashid Shaheed, but I see some reps where he shows he can be an exceptional route runner, and he's just such a good ball tracker and plays through physicality well. And then I also want to talk about Antonio Williams because I haven't yet. I think Antonio Williams is going to be a reliable player. I think this really depends on, like, if he can prove he can be a Z in the NFL, like, he could be a really good number 2. I think he's a slot-only number 3, but he's really reliable, really good. I wish he translated his quickness to, like, running after the catch, and then I worry about how he deals with physicality, and those are big things for the NFL for me. But he still makes my top 100 as the 90th best player. And then the final 10, we've got Chandler Rivers, cornerback, Duke, 91. Katron Allen, running back, Penn State, 92. Connor Lew, center, Auburn, 93. Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville, 94. Bryce Lance, wide receiver, North Dakota State, 95. Dominique Orange, interior defensive lineman, Iowa State, 96. Brian Parker II, center, Duke, 97. Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker, ASU, 98. Malcolm Fields, wide receiver, Notre Dame, 99. And Eli Raridon, tight end, Notre Dame, at 100. Only 3 tight ends in the top 100, but I do like Eli Raridon and his potential a lot. Chris Bell, Bryce Lance, back-to-back. Both guys are guys that I feel like don't do enough NFL stuff yet. I see more current NFL stuff out of Chris Bell, but I don't know that I see a profile that I believe can do more NFL stuff. I don't see a profile that I think can do more things to create NFL separation. He didn't even create separation in college. Bryce Lance needs to get down a better release package and like more nuanced route running, but you see the ability to just pull away, separate, especially when he makes a cut, explode through a cut. So he's not quite there. Like at least Chris Ball has the physicality right now, plays. But Bryce Lance is a better contested catcher, and also I think he has the ability to be a better separator in the NFL. So that's why I have them back to back. But I did give Bell the nod. Also, the injury worries me about Bell, which is why he's a little closer to Lance here too. And then I guess the last guy I'll talk about is I'll talk about. I haven't really talked about Chandler Rivers. I think he's gonna be a nickelback, but I think he's just a really good player, and I think he's gonna be a good NFL nickel. Like I think he's gonna be a really good NFL nickel. I don't think you want to play him outside at all, but he's gonna be a good nickel. That does it for my top 100 players. If you would like to see more, like the evals of these players, see more rankings, see exactly where I have the big tier gaps, I have that all that information in my draft guide. You can get that through my Patreon. It's only $5 a month, and I will give that to you. So hey, I'll get the link for you. But please like, subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'm going to be probably releasing it on draft day. I'm going to do my final round one mock for the NFL draft. That's it for my time today. My name's Dirty D from Dirty D. Y'all have a great rest of your day.